Miss Miranda Madison, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. So I take it you can hear me fully, right, on your end. I'm
Yes.
using a mic that didn't work before. I think it's working now.
Okay.
Um, so one thing I want to start right off the bat is there's this viral clip going around
Oh my
Facebook. Yes, it is. It is going viral, right?
God.
So the prom of the class of 92 and 93, right? So they cut me out. I was like in there.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was there. I remember them being there. And
Yep.
they cut me out. I didn't get on the commercial or on
I
the
know.
on the
On
clip.
the, yeah.
But I know someone who did.
Yes. And I will never live that down.
That was so great. Beth
Ever.
Beth and I were watching it in the car. She was playing it as in the passenger side, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, that is hilarious."
That's so embarrassing. When I said my little feminist, you know, and there's a reason for that, and I'm not going to go into it here.
Right, right,
It's
right.
so embarrassing. But okay, so when the first time that my kids saw the video was pre-internet, real well, pre like smartphones and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
And so it was just a VCR tape. And so we put the VCR tape in and showed my teenager, like, well, upper elementary kids. They were properly horrified. Actually, when John saw it for the first time, I was like 7 months pregnant with probably our second child and in my bare feet cooking dinner.
Totally opposite
So
of.
then he says, "Okay, so how'd that work out for you?"
I did. I was like, I literally thought, I wonder what John was thinking when he saw that.
Oh my
That's so
gosh.
funny. That's so funny.
Thankfully, I don't even think he saw it till he was already stuck with me, married, had at
Too
least one
late.
child.
Too late. Too late.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought that was so funny though.
Oh
And
my gosh.
what's even funnier though is that you called it out. I didn't say that. I didn't go there, right?
Oh,
I just said it was a viral video,
oh
right?
my gosh,
And
yes.
you went there. So, but
I
anyways, I
did.
thought that was so funny. Um, but man, that was a long time ago, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah.
Oh gosh.
So for people that are watching, Mandy and well, Mandy, Miranda, uh,
Randy. I don't know.
Mirandy,
Either one.
we went to school together.
Yes.
So, and I will say that, thinking, obviously, we weren't like friends at school, right? We knew each other.
Yeah.
We just, we didn't hang out. We weren't
Right.
friends per
Yeah, but
se,
we were friends.
but I knew David. I was in class with David, your older brother, or excuse me,
Nathan.
Nathan, your younger brother.
Yeah.
And so I remember him, and talked to him a little bit more. And then you have an older brother, correct?
I do. I have an older brother, David.
David. Yes, that's what I thought. David. We were in drama class together,
Yes.
and we did Nightmare High School together. Yes, yes.
Yep.
Anyways, but what I
Oh my
wanted to say
gosh.
is that I have known you for a while,
Yes.
and even then, you were always on top of things. You seem to. I mean, this is my perspective.
That's
Okay,
very nice.
being one grade behind you, this is my perspective
Okay.
of Mandy Yoakum at the
That's
time,
right.
and was great student, not a troublemaker. Um, you went to school with purpose. You
Yeah.
were you were friendly. I don't ever remember you being snobbish or mean or
Oh, I
I
hope
mean,
not.
so I don't ever remember that at all. And then so later in life, my mom meets you, my wife meets you, my wife works with you. They all love you. So I have nothing bad to say about you at all. All right. I mean, and then our kids.
I
Uh,
know. Became
I
good
didn't
friends.
know your boys as much. Obviously, I knew who they were. I knew of them, but your girls grew up with my boys,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Grace was in class with my oldest. I think they were in the same class.
Yes, that sounds
James,
right.
and then oh gosh, don't your youngest daughter,
Lauren.
Lauren. Yes, it was right there on the tip of my tongue
I know.
because she's at Blue River now, right?
She's at Blue River now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So Miss Madison. But anyway, she grew up with my son Carter, right? So
Yes.
they were really good friends. So,
Yes.
anyways, okay, let's get to business because we're just having fun here and
I
nobody's
know.
learning anything. All right.
Reunion.
So, tell me a little bit about what you're doing. I noticed you've well, first you worked in the ER for about 19 years or so, right? And now you're working in the Henry County Recorder's office, and we'll get there because you're running for recorder also, and we'll talk about that some too.
Okay.
But you're also on some executive boards, Hagar's Hope, the Henry Live Coalition,
Yes.
and Community Arms, and that's one I
Yes.
don't know about. And then you also volunteer for CASA, and you serve on the leadership team for Celebrate Recovery in Greenfield.
Yes.
So let's start out with just taking it one at a time. Tell us a little bit about Hagar's Hope. Um, Actually, before we just jump right on there, I'm going to give you the opportunity to share kind of what led you to be involved in addiction and mental health and what got you serving in all this capacity.
Okay. So the short version is I was a stay-home mom, had 4 children in 5 years. So I thought
For,
I'd always be a stay-home
former
mom.
feminist,
Former feminist who then
turned stay
decided
at home.
I
Sorry.
just want to be a stay-home mom. No, it's yeah. I talked earlier. I am not where I thought I would be. If you'd asked me at 18, and
Right.
now that I'm in my 50s, yeah,
Thank
very
God I'm not either.
right. I'm grateful.
Right.
But um, so I thought I'd be a stay-home mom, and my husband decided to go back to law school, go back to school and study law. And we did okay for a year. I was stay-home mom for about a year, and then our daughter had a little accident, and we didn't have health insurance, and it was pretty scary. Like I just it's like it dawned on me that that was a really bad thing because if it had been more serious, we would have needed the insurance. So
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, I've got to do something. And Henry Community Health happened to be hiring at that time. It was Henry County Hospital. And I applied to be patient care. And so I started working at the hospital in 2004. And while John was going to law school, and we just made it work. I worked night shift and then came home and just had to stay up all day because he was gone to school all day and our kids were still small at home.
Wow.
Um, anyway, we made all that work and that led me into the ER. So through the ER, I was witnessing um, lots of cycles of dysfunction. You witness the trauma, but you also witness the people who are they're there because they don't know any different. So there's the mental health side. There's also then the addiction side, and we would have folks that would come in and they'd be overdosed. They would have somebody dump them in the circle drive at the front of the hospital.
Yeah.
They would have friends call them from the location where they were overdosing. Ambulance comes, brings them in, they're intubated. We had patients extubate themselves once they kind of came around, leave, and we're back sometimes in the same night, overdosed again. And I have a heart for people. I love people. I just do. And it broke my heart to watch and not be able, it's one thing to be able to use ER slang, treat and street. treat somebody, get them better in the moment, and send them on their way. Sometimes even send them to a facility for 24, 48, 72
Right.
hours.
Right.
It's not a solution.
Right.
So I just knew that there had to be a better way. And then I watched in real time the absolute rapid decline of mental health, not just in Henry County. You know, a lot of people want to focus on the Henry County piece that live in Henry County, and they sometimes it just feels very isolating and like, gosh, it's just so bad here. It's bad everywhere.
Yeah.
And when you work in ER, you communicate with other ERs and you talk to other folks in the medical field,
Yeah.
and you do learn that it's the same thing in all these communities. Um, I felt like something had to change and I didn't know what that was. And about that time, I had two very close friends. One of them who worked with me at the hospital. We had raised our little kids together, um, spent time together. That she'd come to my house. My house was a gathering place because it was right in the heart of town. And we would have drop our kids off at preschool, bring all our other kids to my house and have coffee and hang out until it's time to pick our preschoolers up. She also happened to work there on night shift with me at the hospital. Um, she wound up in a situation and addiction spiraled, wound up dying of an overdose.
Mm.
Another friend of mine was a pastor's wife. She also wound up in addiction, spiraling, died of an overdose.
Oh,
Hers
wow.
was intentional.
Yeah.
Both of these women were my close and dear friends. Both of them were women who I was shocked to the core that they battled addiction, that they died of overdoses, and they left children behind that were the same ages as my children and who had been growing up with my children. And that's when it lit a fire. Something I had to do something. I could no longer wring my hands about the problem. I had to be part of the solution. And there is a lot of nuance that I will not get into, but through prayer, I don't know how to fix
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know how to fix myself. Um, but through prayer and just, I begged God to show me how to help and how to make a difference. And I was like, if you will bring the ministry, I will, I will stay in the background. I will wash the dishes. I will sweep the floors. I'll set up and tear down. I just want to be part of it. That's all I
Yeah.
ask. And so,
Let me ask you this. When so because I know sometimes when we're walking with the Lord and we develop a passion about something,
yeah,
a lot of people it does seem like a lot of people tend to kind of find their calling that way. Like they develop a passion and they find themselves walking in this direction
mhm,
that they may not even have never thought of, but
yeah,
through life experience, it rises up.
right,
And so sometimes, the length between the fire flicks and between when you get going, sometimes is short, sometimes is long. Like
mhm.
at what, so the passing of your friends, how close together were they? And then how far after did it impact you in such a way that you begin to pray? And then how far after that did you start to see doors start to open? Was it quick or was it a process?
It was a process. So I was also in the middle of raising my own teenagers,
Yeah.
and they
And
were
let
very,
let let me I
yeah,
interrupt people all the time. My wife
you
gets
were
on to
fine.
me. But the reason I interrupt is because as you're explaining, what I would like for you to do too is to, as you're explaining it, think about maybe other people that would be watching that are kind of on their own journey,
Right.
that don't know, they're trying to feel their way through and it's not happening fast enough
Oh,
or,
yeah.
you know what I mean? So
Yep.
as you're explaining, kind of explain it in a teaching way also so that maybe someone else will benefit from and maybe be inspired and encouraged by what you have to say too.
Okay. Um, I didn't feel I had anything to offer, if I'm honest. I felt like I would come across as condescending. So, so
What
let me
made you
back
feel
up.
like that?
I think because I don't have a college degree, I have a lot of college education. I just don't
Yeah,
have, it doesn't compile neatly into a
yeah,
specific degree because I put my degree on hold several times because of circumstances in life.
yeah.
I would pause. Okay, I'm going to pause in my education. I have a associates in early childhood development
Okay.
that I earned with your mother.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, back in the day, in
Yes.
the like early 90s.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
She messed up on us, me and my brother, so bad. She's like, I
she
gotta
had to
go to
go back.
school. Yeah.
Well, I was like, I know I'm not fit to be a mother, so I need this education. Um, I can't tell you the amount of time that it was between them, and I feel really terrible because everything was such a fog. Um,
Okay. Yeah. That's
when
understandable.
when Sherry passed and when Sarah passed, I'll be honest, like I was in survival mode. I was working night shift and raising four kids and
Yeah. Wow.
and ER. I mean,
Yeah.
I lived a life steeped in trauma and caring for people in the midst of their worst time. And a lot of it sometimes you bring home,
Yeah.
even if like you can't bring it home, so you stuff it down or you
Yeah.
just put it in the back of your mind. And so there were times where I was just existing. And then when within that time, of course, losing these two close friends, um, and trying to keep up with my children and my marriage and my home, I can't tell you honestly how long between the two of them. And I feel like a bad friend for that.
No, no, that's
Um,
perfectly understandable.
but it
I mean,
was
absolutely perfectly.
right. Um,
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the timeline. So essentially, after, um, especially after Sarah died, because someone in the memorial service had commented about um, her children were sitting in the memorial service, and someone said, well, unfortunately, she got herself into all the, into the addiction. And basically, they were discussing her as if she had, as if she was not worthwhile.
Yeah.
I, basically, like she was trashy. They were describing her as if she was a lost cause, and and this was at a this was in a church. These were all Christian neighbors who were discussing my friend who I sat in Bible study with on Wednesday nights for years, who I discussed scripture with, who I prayed with. I was at her baptism. Um, I watched her share the Bible with her children and teach her children scripture. And I think that's kind of the point that snapped me. I did stand up and speak, and I did say, I said, I want Sarah's children to hear me. They were way up front and I'm in the back, but I said, I want you to hear me, your mother, because this person basically cast doubt and said that they didn't believe that she would be in heaven and they hated that. And that's when I spoke up and I said, I want you all to hear me. Your mother is in heaven. Your mother was saved. I was at her baptism. I was there when she was saved. I was in Bible study with your mother. We prayed together. We discussed scripture together. Salvation doesn't mean you're not still broken.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to put a human, we are
Yeah.
all the Imago Dei. We are all made in the image of Christ,
Yeah.
every single one of us. And every single person, if their value is based on nothing else, it is based on that, you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
And so I just struggle with even the people of faith who want to um, other people with addiction or
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
trauma.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's what lit the fire under me. That's what made me passionate. I thought somehow the church has got to make the connection. And at this point, I've not heard of Celebrate Recovery. At this point, I don't know anything about Celebrate Recovery. I just know that somehow we have to connect the church to be part of the solution.
yeah.
And so um,
Is that when your prayer process began?
that's
I
when my prayer
assume.
process began. God, bring a ministry. I don't know how to do this, but we have to have
Yeah,
a ministry of some type.
yeah,
And if there's one out there, show me.
yeah.
Lead me to it. Bring it to me. And I actually had a friend, Kathy, and we were praying together for this. And we were praying within our own church that it would come, bring this to us, bring this to our church, God, and or lead us to the right people. Let us have the right conversations. And we prayed that prayer for a while. And then I lost Kathy unexpectedly, not from anything to do with drugs, but yeah. So Kathy died very unexpectedly, and
Wow.
I just decided I was carrying this on. And so, to make a long story short, we had a new pastor at the church. He was kind of not interested in recovery ministry. At that point, he kind of felt like, if you're struggling, you rub some dirt on it,
Yeah,
pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Come on, be tough. He's Army,
yeah,
so
yeah,
he approached it like you just got to suck it up and figure it out.
yeah,
And I started praying for him. So I started praying for a change of heart, for God to
yeah.
soften his heart, and God did that. And so his heart was softened, and I came on his board chair in my church at the same time that he was returning from a tour in Iraq,
Wow.
and he was struggling with some PTSD. And he came to me and said, "We need a ministry in our church
Holy cow. Wow.
for trauma and recovery. And
Wow.
I don't know how to make that happen." And I said, "Well, let's pray together." So we started praying together
Holy
that
cow.
God would move and bring something to our church, bring us to the right tables with the right people. And probably 6 months in, a new couple started coming to our church, and they sat behind me a couple times, and I was always in and out in a hurry, um, because I have my grandson, and I just needed to
Sure.
get somewhere after church. Um, and one Sunday, Ben from the front, and I was so amazed because he was really good, very dynamic and very good preacher. I loved his sermons, and he was up there speaking, and he was sharing about David and talking about recovery and hurts and trauma. And he from the front went ahead and shared with the church that he was struggling
Wow.
with some PTSD, and he hadn't shared that with the congregation before. And he used some terminology that I now know is CR terminology.
Okay.
He now knows it's CR terminology. He didn't know that when he said it.
Yeah.
He just said, everybody is healing from something, from a hurt, a habit, a trauma, a hang up, something. What do you need to heal from?
Yeah.
After the
Yeah.
service, that couple approached him, and they said, "We loved your sermon. That was amazing." He's like, "Well, thank you." And they said, "So you're talking about trauma and hurt and all of that." And he said, "Yeah." He said, "We're trying to wrangle up some type of a ministry here to deal with trauma, but we're not really sure how to do that. The board chair and I have been praying about that. We're both passionate about it." And the couple kind of looked at each other, and the husband, Tim, said, "Well, here we are." And Ben said, I'm sorry." And he said, "Yeah." He said, "About 6 months ago, God told us to sell everything and move to Henry County and start a recovery ministry. And so
Holy
we done
smokes.
it." Right.
Wow.
And that first Sunday, they said they were settled in, and they finally got established, and they were like, "Well, we need to find our church." if we're going to bring a ministry to Henry County for recovery.
Yeah.
Um, and so they said, well, we live in Mount Summit, so we should probably go to church in Mount Summit. And so they found our church and showed up.
Wow. Wow. Isn't it amazing? Like I hear stuff like that and, you know, just inside right now, I can't even explain. Like it's just a light feeling, right? Just all of
Yes.
something from down, just wow, because it's just God. God can
Yes.
only, the orchestration of God is magnificent. Um, we just have to not get in his way,
Yes.
not second guess, and be obedient.
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I know. It was amazing.
Yeah. So they come, and so this starts.
So I attended Celebrate Recovery for the first time the next Thursday,
Okay.
and I have not left. I've been there ever since.
Yeah. Now this is Celebrate Recovery in Greenfield.
It is in Greenfield at Brandywine Church. They came from Brandywine. They were in
Yep.
leadership at Celebrate Recovery.
Okay.
And that's why they were ready to plant a Celebrate Recovery in Henry County as well.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So now I'm ignorant on this. There is a Celebrate Recovery now at the functioning at the church here?
No.
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 Okay. So some things happened.
Yes.
Okay. We don't have to get into all that.
um
Some
yeah.
things happened, but you are still with Celebrate Recovery in Greenfield.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And I still have hope that we will have a Celebrate Recovery in Henry County.
Sure.
I hold it all with open hands.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Well, so on that note, that's kind of a good segue though into what's next, because
Yes.
again, you're now serving on the boards of Hagar's Hope,
Yes.
Henry County Live Coalition, Community Arms. You'll have to explain that one to me because I don't think I'm aware of that one.
Okay.
But I know also that in the web of it all, like Henry County Women's Recovery, you know, Megan, Tiffany,
Yep.
Shelley, those girls are
Yes.
somehow connected in there too. They've got a great program going.
Absolutely. And
So
Jeff.
so you guys are all like,
Oh, Jeff Passow, Laura, all of us.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly,
I've been
exactly.
invited to tables I never expected to be included at. And
Yeah,
I'm grateful. It's very humbling. I know there are people out there that are drawn to I'm drawn to broken places.
yeah,
Yeah, I have been my whole life.
yeah, yeah.
I
Broken, there's a need, you want to fill it, right?
Yeah.
And it's so funny because sometimes when my wife worked with you,
Yes.
my wife, she just loved you to death because
Oh.
you guys had so many similarities.
Yes.
In behavior, in thought process, this caring, and it was the nurturing.
Mm-hmm.
It was and here's the thing about my wife, and I've begun to notice it about you, and you've even mentioned it in the midst of this conversation, is I don't have to be the face.
No.
I don't have to have the mic. I don't have to be the one in charge. I want to do something great though, right? Like I want to be the one that makes it look great.
Yes.
If I don't even get the recognition, I want it to go. I want it to succeed. And my wife has always, always, always been that way. And I've noticed that about you in the process of our lives as adults.
Yeah.
Again, with my wife working with you, my mom talking with you, the book club. I know there was a book club,
There is a
back
book
in the day.
club. Oh, yes.
And then conversing at ball games and conversations,
Yes.
and even political stuff. once you started getting involved politically and John started getting involved there.
Mhm.
So you've always, I have never, I truly have never seen you. When you go to political things, you can kind of tell who's wanting to be seen.
Oh, yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were never that way,
No,
but
you'll
you were
find me
always
sitting at the
available.
table.
Yeah, you were always available. You were always there. You were always ready to work, to do whatever,
Yeah.
whatever's necessary. So I get that. Um, so we have just a few more minutes left in this portion, but
Okay.
yeah, we will connect again. Um, but is it possible to talk about Hagar's Hope in like 2 minutes,
Absolutely.
real quick, and then we can even
Yes.
touch on it when we do the next session.
Yeah.
But talk to us about Hagar's Hope.
Okay. So I become active in Celebrate Recovery, was invited to be on the executive board of the Live Coalition. And I think that's probably where Jamie got my name,
Okay.
Jamie Owens. Um,
Yeah, I met her. Yes.
yes. So Jamie works through the health department for a portion of her job. She is the JRAP, director of JRAP
Okay.
at the Jail Recovery Program.
Yeah.
And about the time that I was talking to people at the health department and others in the community about how much we needed something for women, here comes Jamie Owens, who says, "Hey, we need something for women in Henry County." We started talking about recidivism. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I'm sure you've talked with others about this, but
Yeah.
there is the guest house is phenomenal. They do just a marvelous job with
Yeah.
women. Um, but there's nothing for women.
Yeah. Right.
Christian Love Center is also fantastic, but
Yes.
um, and they've been doing this for a long time. They've been in for the long haul. We knew it's so much bigger. The problem is so much bigger, and
Uh,
I feel like it will take multiple entities,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
so we're not trying to replace Christian Love Center. We're trying to work together. And
Yeah.
so anyway, Jamie was like, "Yeah, we need something for women. And right now, transitional housing is desperately needed. Something from, the post recovery world. So you send someone to recovery or they go and they decide to do a recovery program. For women, the hardest part, especially if they have gone through jail or coming out of prison, their children are often either with their ex boyfriend, ex spouse, still boyfriend, or family or foster care.
Yeah.
Regardless of where they are, women want to be reconnected with their children. And a lot of times they wind up going back into those same cycles. They have to return back to the home where the problems were
Yeah.
present. We got
Absolutely.
them into trouble.
Yeah.
Although we don't house women with their children at Hagar's Hope, we do provide the transitional housing that allows them to visit with their children, spend time with them, but really kind of get in there and focus on reconnecting with society, with community, complete any programs that they're required to complete, whether that's probation, house arrest, drug court, what have you. We also would accept, young women who are aging out of foster care.
Mm.
So this is not just a home for women who are coming out of recovery or jail. This is also if you're coming out of foster care, if you're um, leaving an abusive marriage or abusive relationship, things of that nature. We house them. They can live there 18 months, 3 years, however long they need to. We don't
Wow.
have a time limit on it. Some women might only need 6 months. Some women might need the full 3 years. And so we want to be available for whatever they need.
Wow.
And
So that's a good stopping point, I think, for
okay.
this session because
Yeah.
on my low budget podcast, Zoom is going to kick us off.
Okay.
So, but what I want to immediately do is go right back in to this conversation uh,
Okay.
when we reconnect. All right.
Okay.
All right.
That's great.